On August 15, 2021, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau called an election for September 20, 2021. In the Canadian electoral system, majority governments call elections every 4 years. However, the ruling Liberal Party currently only has a minority position. Minority governments holding less than 50% of parliamentary seats must be supported by other parties to bridge to a plurality of votes when legislation is passed. A minority position means that such a government can be defeated at any time. Minority governments last an average of about 18 months. Justin Trudeau called an election early, it is argued, in hopes of being able to capitalize on popularity of his handling of the pandemic to secure a majority government. This video is based upon technical remote viewing sessions performed between July and September 2021. Based upon research, the matrix, the mentally accessible framework containing all data which is accessed by remote viewing, interprets the word election to be the campaign itself, as well as the procedure of voting and the immediate outcome. This video will not predict the winner of the 2021 election. It will simply describe the remote viewing data received, detailing the nature of the election. We will draw some conclusions, but it will ultimately be up to the viewer to decide what they mean. Our data depict a party trying to form government from a minority position. This shouldn't be a surprise to the viewer because at the time this video was posted, polls point to either a Liberal or a Conservative minority government. Here's what our data found. This is a cabinet with a second chance to form government. There is a shortage of something here. The situation is like stopping before the finish line. This portion of our data indicates a botched election organization. Getting out the vote is like a burst bubble. It is a poorly done job. Something goes awry here and it's like a chain reaction. People are running a project which is an abject failure. They are caught off guard. This data may indicate that either one of the political parties has trouble getting their voters to the polls, or perhaps it's difficult to get voters to vote at all during a pandemic. What has already been established is that the Liberal Party has run a poor campaign to date. Protesters have caused them to cancel several events, and Trudeau's reason for calling an election in the middle of a pandemic is not resonating with voters. What is also known is that because there has been so much demand for mail-in voting due to the pandemic, it may take days to know the final results. If this is a close minority government situation, this could certainly add a layer of confusion. We will continue to monitor the news for the exact nature of this botched election execution. There is a congratulations and swearing-in ceremony here, but there does seem to be an external process, like a court or some other body, to get to this point. This is highly unusual and may point to the fact that this could be a very close election, taking a while to resolve. This is a place where people feel frustrated. They are starting over. It is like a hung jury. This is a court which is settling and setting a precedent. There is badgering here, settling a dispute, and a crisis is averted. This is a chamber associated with decision. These are legislators who are haggling and letting go of demands. These are parliamentarians striking a deal. As to whether this situation is resolved in a judicial court or some type of parliamentary court remains to be seen. There is an audience here. The situation is associated with "thank you." This person is like a military commander. They are the star of the show. They are a recent newcomer. It should be stated that Erin O'Toole was a military officer in the Royal Canadian Air Force. He was an air navigator on naval helicopters. In 2015, he served briefly as Minister of Veterans Affairs in a previous Conservative government. O'Toole is a recent newcomer to the job of Conservative leader, having won the leadership race in 2020. This portion of the data depicts groups coming together to negotiate a settlement. There are haggling parties who are bothered. They are drawing up an accord. They are settling into an agreement and setting something. They draw up several rounds of deals. They are entering a partnership. This is an agreement being put forth to settle a dispute. The situation is skilled and is like a bus. Everyone is sitting on the same bus. In other words, they are all in it together. This data may indicate a minority or coalition type of government. There are two possible scenarios here. A winning minority party seeks a formal agreement with a minor party to extend their power to a regular 4-year mandate, or a losing minority party petitions the Governor-General to be allowed to form government as a coalition with another minor party. Either of these scenarios would be a highly unusual situation for Canadian politics. We were surprised by these remote viewing results and were dubious of them at first. Remote viewing is 80% accurate for any given data point. However, over time, as the same information repeats in multiple sessions, it carries more weight. We were leery of publishing this information. However, in the end, we refused to cherry-pick data to fit how we think the world should probably be. The ability for remote viewing to key into unexpected data has surprised us again and again. Will it do so one more time? A portion of the data clearly indicates someone resigning. They have received the short end of the stick and have been stabbed in the back. They feel sad, wistful, and resigned. They are stricken in some way. This person is representative of several generations. They are a leader and a teacher. It should be stated that Justin Trudeau's father, Pierre, was Prime Minister of Canada in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s. And for several years, Justin Trudeau was a French teacher. In summary, we see a minority government situation. The campaign, the voting process itself, or perhaps voter turnout is botched in some way. Because of this, it may take some time to settle results and the winner. There may need to be some external help in settling this situation. This suggests a close result in terms of seat count. In order to settle this dispute, a formal accord may be drawn up between groups. This also suggests a close result in terms of seats because a wide victory margin wouldn't require any formal accord between groups. And finally, someone resigns as a result of election results.